In my opinion, true strength involves three components: stability, flexibility, and mobility. That's balance, range of motion, and movement. We can develop and improve on these things daily, and we all should. Okay, guys, I'm going to try to give you just a few tips as we're going through this mobility together. First, this is just a nice basic rock. We're going to try to rock on either side of our spine, not directly over our spine. Breathe, relax. You can hold the knees if you want. Don't let the head hit the ground, and just let the ground kind of massage your back. Nice and easy, and this is how we'll start a lot of our mobility training. I'm going to show you this variation here. I'm just not holding my knees, so it involves just a little bit more core work. I still want to keep those knees pulled up towards the shoulder. I'm still keeping my neck flexed, not tightening the neck too tight, but certainly enough so that it's not hitting the ground. My abs are contracted the whole time, and as always, I'm breathing. Here we're going to reach up. So you can look and reach. I'm not looking here, but you certainly can look up and reach, really stretch out, extend your spine a little bit, rock it back. We're going to rock it back again here. And now we're going to come up and do a little butterfly stretch with an extended spine. Butterfly stretch, extend the spine, exhaling on the way up. You can see how we're expanding our chest and exhaling. Continue this rocking, nice and easy, back and forth, continuing to warm up. And now I'm just going to reach up one arm at a time. Just stretch in there, I'm looking, stretch, look, stretch, and look. Getting warmed up here. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of a shin roll. So you'll see I'm tucking one leg and I'm rolling over the shin. Now if your knees are a little bit inflexible here, or certainly if it hurts, then we don't do this. We just modify. You can put your hands on the mat, right, and just do whatever you're comfortable with. Mobility should be enjoyable. You should feel great after you're done. You'll see here I'm rolling right over the shin and I'm extending my hips a little bit. Front knee going towards the ground. I'm not using my hands here, but I certainly could. Key, as always, and you hear me say this over and over, is that we're breathing. Here's a little base get up, right from our self-defense curriculum. You see that I'm going to rock up. My hands are going to go on the mat on the side of the knee that's low. My foot goes behind the back hand, and we do a nice, perfect squat. Again, breathing, up, down, tuck the shin, yeah, not chin, and we're up. There, I'm just showing a variation with one hand. This is our shin box, right, where that front shin is parallel to my shoulders, and I'm exhaling and just stretching down. I'm holding this 2 or 3 seconds, and I'm just going to switch from one hip to the other, swing everything the exact opposite way. Exhale down. Now you'll see I'll rock over. All my weight will be on one hip. Swing everything around. Exhale. It's a great hip opener. Gets us ready for a little bit more movement that's coming up very soon. Now on this one, I'm really exhaling, relaxing, sitting into the stretch. Now we're going to go through a couple variations here where just a little bit more advanced, but just kind of the next step up, where I'm going to exhale and now I'm rocking. Exhale, and then I'm rocking over to the other side. So it's just one breath down and we're moving. And this really what is the pacing or the flow of mobility. Nice and smooth. Don't worry about how far down you're going. And now we're going to do a variation with no hands. And again, this is just a little bit more advanced. Just say more experience. Once you do this a little bit, everybody will get here. I'm dropping the shoulder of the front knee down towards the ground, exhaling on the way down, and using my legs and my arms for a little momentum. Now we're doing a nice yoga stretch. I'm doing the shin back stretch with a breath. I'm going to switch over. When I come up, leg's going to go to the opposite side of the front thigh. Big hug, straight spine, exhale, and switch it around. So exhale, switch the shin box, we call that. The back leg around, over the front thigh, hug, straight spine, and exhale. We'll get one more in here. So exhale down, big switch around, exhale down, back leg comes forward, foot to the mat, nice posture, and we exhale. One final blowout. Perfect. All right, now this one is just me moving around with that shin box. Kind of have to get the flow. It's a little bit awkward at first, but you'll get this. Just kind of copy. You'll see I'm windshield wipering my feet around. Again, your hands could hit the ground. I'm just showing the variation without my hands hitting. Now we're going to do a cat-cow stretch. I know many of you have seen this, but we're going to relax the neck, hunch up the spine, exhale, let the spine drop, and the neck comes up. One thing I'm not going to do on this one is I'm not going to let my shoulders drop or my shoulder blades retract too much. Still going to keep them up nice and strong. This is just an excellent, excellent stretch for the spine, lower back, your hips, your neck. Always a great stretch to keep in your mobility routine. So now this one we're starting with a double quad stretch. And then we're going to bring it up to a hip flexor stretch. So it's a hip flexor and then a double quad stretch. Hip flexor and a double quad stretch. All right, now we move this into kind of like from the yoga. So there's our shin box. And now we're going to stretch it down and then do these windshield wipers. So just back and forth, back and forth. Show you a little bit different angle, just so you can see the direction of my feet. Forward, both of my feet be like windshield wipers. So we stretch down, tuck opposite feet. And if it's a little bit too much to sit all the way back, then don't. You just sit back as far as you can. All right, back to our shin box. And now, instead of moving around, I'm just coming up onto my knees. Hip flexor work, sitting back down. I'm using my hands on my thighs here, but you certainly can do this with your hands off of your legs. This is one that a lot of people think is real hard, that it takes a lot of strength, but it really just takes a little bit of practice, a little experience, and then a little mobility in the hips. You'll all be doing it very soon. Now we're going to get a nice adductor stretch, lat stretch, really stretching here. And now I'm going to come up, the knees are going to come together, and we're going to do a nice extension of the back. And we're going to reverse that. So as I come forward, knees come out. Now we're going to add a little flow into this. So arch and sit back. Arch, exhale, and on the way back, knees will come wide, and we'll exhale with that as well. This is a nice frog movement. Helps with mobility, certainly, a little bit of strength. You see I'm doing it on my fingertips. It'll give us a little bit more room to hop up, and it helps strengthen the fingers and the wrists as well. Straight down and straight back. Get a little double quad stretch in there as well. Always can make modifications on these guys too. It's just such incredible work. You feel a huge difference once you're done with this mobility routine. So now I'm just going to move a little bit with this frog, forward and back. We do this with the kids all the time. It's so interesting because the kids already know how to do all this mobility work. It's almost like we unlearn it as we get older, and we have to relearn it. This is just natural mobility, natural movement. It's what we were meant to do. Started off in that shin box, and now in yoga this is a version kind of like a pigeon stretch. My knee's a little bit more pointed, and then I'm going to flow to the other side. So you'll see I'll drop the hip, straighten out the leg, and then bring the other hip up. So I'm exhaling down, rocking over, straighten out the leg, and switch to the other side. And the key on this is really to rock over far enough so that there's no restriction on that leg straightening out. Feel free to really rock to the side to get your hips out of the way. There's just a nice little turn I'm able to do. I'm going to stretch it back. Now we're going to do some 2-point balance, a little crouch we'll start out with. So the balls of the feet are down, nice bend in the knees. I'm just going to lift up the opposite limbs. So one foot and the opposite hand. This is just excellent for core work and stability. You can move with this as well. You can walk across the floor, forward, back, sideways. Here we're just showing a little variation. And the hands and feet don't have to come up high at all off the ground. Just far enough so that you're working that stability. Okay guys, we're doing some breath work now. So this first series of breath work is going to be called the box drill. It's 4 breaths in, hold for 4 count, 4 count out, and hold for 4. So we're going to breathe in, hold for 4, out, hold for 4. So it's 4 of everything. 4 count on the way in, hold for 4, 4 count on the way out, hold for 4. See, when we breathe this way, we want to contract our diaphragm, take as much in as our lower cavity as we can, and then let the upper lungs fill. Shoulders might come up slightly as you do that. And then when we exhale, we're going to reverse that. We're going to let the shoulders drop, get the air out from the upper lungs down through the lower lungs. Showing you different side views, so you'll see we're going to breathe in for a 4 count, hold for 4, out 4 count, and we'll hold that out for 4 as well. So each time we're holding 4, we have a full air in our lungs, and we're also going to hold when we've expelled as much air as possible. You never want to do too much. You don't want to get lightheaded with this. Just want to keep it going. You'll also notice that all of my breath work is done through my nose. It's not bad to do it through your mouth. It's just not as beneficial. And all of the literature that I've read and my experience. Now sometimes if you're doing real strenuous work, you have to do that. You have to blow out through your mouth. So now we're going to do some little organ massaging. And I just love this. So you're going to see we're going to breathe in and out. And now, once we have exhalation, full exhalation, we're going to push our abdominal cavity of our diaphragm, just pull everything in, massaging those organs. We'll do 8 to 10, and then a couple breaths. On this, remember, take a big deep breath in, exhale everything, and then you'll start the organ massage. And you just pick your own count. It doesn't have to be 8, it could be 10, it could be 3. Right? What we don't want is to get too lightheaded. None of our breath work should cause us to be lightheaded. And it might be a little bit of getting used to when you're holding breath or when you're releasing a lot of air out of your lungs. And that's okay. But we don't want to be lightheaded. We want to enjoy this breath work time of our workout. I'm showing you some different ways to breathe this way. You don't have to do them all. I'm just showing you different ways. So the first we did the box drill. It was 4 count in, hold for 4, 4 count out, hold for 4. This is the organ massage, okay, where we're taking a nice deep breath in, exhaling as much air as possible, and then you'll see here, pushing those abdominals in and out. Just getting all those organs kind of move around inside. Do one more repetition, in and out. Usually take a couple normal breaths. And you'll see we're going to exhale in here, and we'll do a count of 8 or so. This is just a quick demo, everybody, so it's a great routine. You certainly can do that, but again, don't feel that you have to do all the exercises. This is just kind of a reference for you. As we're doing more and more videos, I'll be able to separate these out and give you some really cool flows. So we're going to do one more organ massage here. Great for digestion. All right, now we're going to turn around. Now we're going to do some fire breathing. And fire breathing is we're going to do very fast exhalations through the nose. So if you watch my abdominal cavity in there and just blowing out, they're shallow exhalations, and there's a lot of them. And with this, just like previous breathing exercises, you just do the count that you're comfortable with. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I'll do a count of 80 or 90, and then I'll take a couple normal breaths, 3 or 4 normal breaths, and then get back to it. I do the normal breaths so that everything kind of comes back to equilibrium. My breathing's normal again, I feel good, and then I'll go back into the accelerated fire breathing. Try to keep a nice straight spine. Where your hands lie on your legs, where your knees is fine. You don't have to be in a lotus position with your hands up. Certainly there's disciplines that encourage that, and if you're in one of those, that's great. But it is important that we keep a relatively straight spine. We don't want to hunch over. That's just for good posture. It allows us to really utilize and get the most out of this breath work. I'll do 3 or 4 breaths in between bouts of the fire breathing. This is a great way to breathe just before you're doing an activity. Right? Just gets all the energy, gets the blood flowing, gets the oxygen into your blood, just gets you ready for action. Of course, we're doing it at the end of the workout here, but you guys feel free to do it anytime. So thanks so much. Thanks for that mobility work. I enjoy teaching it. I enjoy doing it, and I hope you do too. Remember, anybody can do this, and everybody should. See you the next time.